it's alright.
So good morning, my name is Rion Willard and I'm an architect from the Thinking Hand Studio. And today, as you can see behind me, it's early on a Sunday morning and I'm walking through the beautiful green belt that is in South London. And I want to talk to you today about what the green belt is for and some of the complexities and the issues for and against why the green belt exists. So essentially the metropolitan green belt area, or the green belt, is a circumference, a perimeter edge of London, and it's areas designated of generally of natural beauty, and it's there to kind of hem in and prevent urban sprawl and London as a city from just growing unregulated. Now, green belts in themselves are not a new idea. I mean, in London, for example, Queen Elizabeth I in 1580 designated a 3-mile wide radius around London of greenbelt in order to prevent the spread and the kind of, the rampant plague that was engulfing the city at the time. And greenbelts have been used in all sorts of civilizations from ancient times to govern as a governing mechanism to prevent the growth and spread of cities. So the greenbelt offers in many cases protection to areas of openness like we have behind me, areas of natural beauty, and generally in terms of planning permission it's very difficult to be able to build any new buildings on it, unless of course they're agricultural buildings and they've got specific needs that are contributing to the area and the usage of the land. And it's interesting to consider what happens to cities that don't have green belts. For example, in the States, particularly in the West Coast, cities in Nevada, LA is a good example of urban sprawl that just goes on for miles and miles and miles, and it's relentless, it's repetitive, it's low rise, it's not dense, and it just takes up vast swathes of landscape that can never be protected or reclaimed again. And in the UK, there's the argument that there is a lot of brownfield sites that can be developed first, and that actually, I believe this as well, that we can live in very dense urban cities if the design and the architecture is high quality, and that there is access to public space and to green spaces. This is the most critical element of living in dense environments, is that we have access to this kind of environment. Interestingly, some of the arguments against the green belt suggest that actually the green belt isn't all landscape like this. In fact, this is the exception. A lot of it is poorly maintained scrubland, and a lot of it is privately owned. Within London, the argument is that the green belts haven't prevented the city from growing out beyond the green belt. And what's happened is it's pushed development out into rural areas and areas that aren't protected by greenbelt status. And what this has meant is that you have what's called the commuter belt. So you have people living in towns outside travelling in. So urban sprawl hasn't actually been stopped. Against the greenbelt, or the way that the greenbelt currently exists, is that actually it's becoming a wall that increases inequality and actually makes it more pronounced, the social divisions within people living in the rural areas of the UK and in the urban areas. There are also arguments about the green belt that it's perpetuating London's housing crisis, and it perpetuates housing crises in other cities by preventing valuable land that can be used to build residential properties. Is actually, you're denied access to that, and also as a result it forces house prices up because it's keeping land at a premium. So there we go, quite an interesting topic with two sides there. One looking at the green belt as a protective mechanism to prevent urban sprawl, and I think to be able to do that properly, and I think living in very dense cities is perfectly possible, but the design and the architecture and the urban planning needs to be world class, and access to public green spaces is critical. And on the other side, against the green belt, it's looking at it as actually it's not doing its purpose, it's not serving its purpose as a protective mechanism, and a lot of the greenbelt land that's designated as that isn't what I'm standing in right now, and it's actually perpetuating social inequality and the housing crisis itself. So I would love to hear your opinions and your views on this matter. And if you want to discuss anything more with myself, you can always contact me at info@thethinkinghandstudio, or visit our website to see more content at www.thethinkinghandstudio.com. Thank you very much. My name is Rion Willard and I'm an architect from The Thinking Hand Studio.